I thought I was broke, and then when I collected all my assets together, I found I had $250,000. I thought I was skint. So my mindset was the fact that I was skint, yet everyone else around me thought I was quite wealthy. But it was all relevant, which gives you the fact that wealth is perception against what you've actually got and what you think it's worth. So I set about then making decisions in a stressed state, which were all the wrong decisions. And I set about spending the next 2 years, my wife and I working 80 hours a week to actually get rid of the 250,000. So we then were actually skint. But the rider to that is that if I'd have just sat still, paid myself 25,000 a year, after 2 years I'd have still had 200,000, and possibly my mind would have been in a position where I would have realised that that was a sensible amount of money. So I've had the knocks. It's my journey back from that is the information that I've got today and that I've been teaching people for 25 years. Now, the thing is, the information that I've got is thousands of years old. In fact, from the beginning of time. It's all about your mind. And the unfortunate thing is that everybody in this room has had their mind or their brain mucked up by various people that loved you and meant you no harm. But basically, all your fears and your misconceptions about the world come from what you've seen and observed from people you love. And the reason they've done that is because they're trying to protect you. Because the people in ignorance think that failure is a bad thing. But the funny thing is failure are your stepping stones to success if you learn from them. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes and carry on, keep making them. They're hopeless cases. When you come into this world, you are given a brain that has got the perfect plan for success. And if we didn't interfere with it, it would actually create you the success that you want. And all the way through this talk, success is your success. Rich is your rich. So it's not a blanket thing. And that's one of the misconceptions, is that everyone's programmed to what is rich, what is success, right? Once again, you make it your success and you're rich, and then everything becomes clear. But you are given the perfect program for success. So, anyone who's seen me before, who knows what this is?
Brain.
Your brain. Now, as Val always says, she clarifies it, it's not to scale. Okay? So, we just do it larger so that our friends up the back can see what's going on. So, this is your conscious mind, and this is your subconscious. Now, this is where a lot of the problems start. Because a lot of people in your life, and not least of all your mum and dad, have given you a lot of information that in later life you found to be incorrect. So we draw mum and dad here. And dad's got a big smile on his face. And mum has got a bit of a frown because she's had to look after you. What has mum and dad said to you during the course of your life?
Shut up.
Don't do this, don't do that, be careful. So all of a sudden, you are in a position where the most important people in your life are giving you information that's not actually correct, but they're doing it to stop you doing things, okay? So they're the first thing. And then you meet the teacher in school. He's done a lot of damage, Tristan.
Thought we discussed
He's
the
got a bloody red smile on his face because he has upset a few people with what he's taught. Okay? But the teacher, the most valuable thing that you possess is your ability to look into the future, picture what you want, and live it now. Okay? What a great idea. Picturing the future and living it now, getting the enjoyment from it now. And we'll explain how that happens in a minute. But the teacher in school, you're sitting there daydreaming, which is your ability to look into the future. And when you're a kid, you're not actually sort of pretending, you're there. You're on that bloody train with the smoke going by, aren't you? And you're enjoying it all, and you're actually living it. You're imagining it and living it. And the teacher comes along behind you and he says, "Are you daydreaming?" And you go, whack, and he belts you. No, they can't do that now. But I think they should bring it back. Anyway. And then you meet all sorts of people along the way. You meet Bill up the pub. He's the guy that knows everything up the pub, right? You meet my favourite, if it were me. Who knows if it were me? Bloody great big smile on his face, because he knows everything. And everything that you do, he says he'll do it differently. Oh no, if it were me, I'd do it like that. Or if it were me, I'd do it like this. So you've got if it were me. And then the last one, she's a new one, has just visited us now. This is Dad's sister, Auntie Lil. Now, Auntie Lil has just got a straight look on her face because she ain't got a bloody clue about nothing. But she's got plenty of advice. Right? You want to what? Open a business? You're joking. I met a bloke up the pub the other day went skint when he opened a business. You don't want to open a business. So Auntie Lil gives you all this advice. So can you see what's happening here? Subliminally, you're being programmed for failure. And yet you came here with the perfect program for success. So by the time you're 18, you say, sod this for a game of billiards. I'm going to start rejecting all this information. I'm going to filter it through. Right? So then, at one point in your life, a grey-haired fella with a beard, and not a bad-looking fella by all accounts, turns up into your life and says, now, listen to me, I have got, after 25 years of studying, making all the mistakes and teaching people and observing what's happened, I've got the perfect program that will guarantee you success. You interested? So it goes in to your conscious mind, and where do you go looking for the answer? Oh my God, Mum and Dad, the teacher, Auntie Lil, if it were me, and be like the pub. So the answer comes back from your subconscious to your brain, pissed off. Right? Okay, so you're getting the idea here now, okay? Now, the unfortunate thing is, the way that your brain works, okay, is that it's made that your conscious mind, now get this, and if you're writing things down, write this is so important, your conscious mind cannot make a decision without 100% of the data. True story. So what happens is we try and work things out, and we try and work, what if this happens, what if that happens? We haven't got all the data. Your conscious mind can't do it. So what does it do? Causes stress. That's where your stress comes from, because you're trying to work out something that you can't work out because you haven't got all the information, right? So what you have to do, if you get a problem, a situation that you can't find the answer for, don't carry on stressing out, sling it in the bin. Sling it down here, because we've got a bit left from our childhood called the play area, which is the only bit of your brain that is going to do what it's meant to do, and that is solve all your problems while you're not thinking. Once you start trying to force your subconscious to solve your problems, it stops working, right? So what you do, if you've got a problem and you haven't got all the data, sling it down into the play area and forget about it. In fact, we've done a little test yesterday. It was something I just worked out, whereby we wrote, you remember this, Tristan, with the word search? We wrote down the problem, then we did a word search with lots of word search for all the bits in it. Then at the end of it, immediately after you finished filling in, you'd solved the word search, you went on and readdressed your problem. And everyone, it just started flowing. Because what they'd done is they took their mind off the problem while they were solving the word search, then immediately revisited it, and your subconscious had already gone to work solving the problem. So you've got part of your brain that solves every single problem that you've got when you don't think. But you see, us human beings, we got a computer man, it's lovely because he can confirm all this, because this is getting very technical now. A computer works on a binary system, right? That is, anything that you ask a computer, it goes yes, no, right? And then it goes on to the next bit, da, 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 yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and it comes to the result. Now, we're so clever, us human beings have been given the only thing in nature that's got the ability to sort of work things out and, study things and do that and change things. We've decided, to our brain that works on a binary system, yes, no, we've put maybe. Right? So we've got yes, no, oh hang on, what if this happens, what if that happens? That's what's buggering your brain up, because it only works on yes, no. So we're trying to control it. The best computer ever made is sitting in your head, and you think we're so arrogant, we think we can tell it what to do. But the minute we leave it to work on its own, it works. What happens when you go on holiday, right? Talking about our vision, right? Our vision, we're looking at something and living it and enjoying it now. Now, when you've decided to go on holiday, you've looked at all the brochures, you go along to the, what's it, agent, a travel agent, and you give her your deposit. What do you do immediately you've given her your deposit? Start thinking about your holiday, don't you? Getting the picture here, clear image, doing it, and you start thinking about it. Now the thing is, when we think about our future, we start putting hurdles in the way, okay? And when we think about our holiday, we don't. When we think in our holiday, we think of palm trees, lovely sea, ocean, don't we? We don't think of it pissing down with rain, do we? Hey? And yet when we're thinking of the most important thing to create our success, okay, we put all the hurdles in, we put the rain in and all the bad things, so no wonder we drive ourselves mad. Nothing else in nature does it, right? A dog don't sort of get up in the morning and think, oh, I wonder what I do today, and drive himself mad. He just makes the best of the day because he hasn't got the brain to do this decisive bit that we've been given as humans. But we've abused it. We don't use our brain properly. We keep trying to tell it what to do. And the more you just relax, you'll find it will work better. So how much time have I got?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, lovely. We can get right into some good stuff here. So basically, you may have heard clear mental image. That's what I call it. That is your holiday brochure, right? That is what you've got to create. Once you create a vision, a clear mental image of where you're going, things start changing. Let me ask you something quickly. Who's got an image of where they want to go? You're all deluded. You've got an image of where you think you can go, because your brain is stopping you thinking about where you really want to go, because you're putting all the limiting things, you're putting the rain in and all the other bits, so you're only got an image of where, I mean, I've got to make Michelle an exception because she's been Croz once or twice, so she's free in her thinking. And it's happening, kid, isn't it?
It is.
Right, exactly. So, but trust me, you are thinking limited to where your brain allowing you to think. You've got to free that up and actually make this a stretch, sorry. So when you're creating your clear mental image, don't put big piles of money in. Not wanted on voyage. What you put in it is what you want to do with the money, okay? Now, you when you're creating an image, think of a residual income. Anyone who's got any sense is trying to set up a residual income for the future, because you're going to need it, because they ain't going to have no money in the pot to give you a pension, trust me, right? So in your mind, you've created a residual income, and you've got enough money to do what you want to do. Now make that image what you want to do. And if you want to sit under a bloody palm tree in, chanting, wearing a caftan with curly hair and smoking dope, make that your clear mental image, because if that's what you really want, that's what you're going to get. But be careful what you wish for, because this is very powerful stuff. Right, so then, the next bit you've got to do, make where you are, where you want to be. This is so important, because so many people, and there might be some in this room, but I'm going to put the grass them up. Anyway, so many people say, when I get there, it'll be all right. And I'm prepared to forego all the holidays with my family, forget about the kids, forget about all my enjoyment. I'm going to have my head down and my bum up, and I'm going to do it, because when I get there, I'll be happy. Don't work, guys. And there's plenty of proof of people that have done that and got to a certain position saying, when I get there, I'll put everything right. It doesn't happen. If you don't travel with your feelings, happiness isn't a destination. You can't head towards happiness. You're either happy or you ain't, right? So you can't make yourself happy in the future if things happen, because you sometimes arrive at a place that you don't know anything about. So make where you are where you want to be. That is important, so important. But the biggest thing of all is the past. Loads of people I work with carry the past around with them. If it hadn't been for that bloody divorce settlement, I'd have been all right. You know, if that geezer hadn't done that to me, I'd have been all right. Now, I call it the rucksack. Picture this. Every time something goes wrong, it's her fault. She took all the bleeding money and half the house, and you pins you to the floor. And every time you do it, see, what happened in the past is your excuse for now, for things going wrong now. But the funny thing is, if you just let go of it, now would become better, and you'd be moving forward a lot quicker. But we don't. Once again, that yes, no, and what's in the middle? Maybe. Oh my God, how clever are we? Anyway, so you've got this bloody great big rucksack on your back, okay? And you're dragging it round with you, and all you're doing, carrying the past with you, is giving yourself an excuse as to why things are going wrong. And yet, if you let go of it, things will start going right. Does that make sense? And yet we all do it, and we're clever. We're clever. But once you realise all this, so listen, I don't care what it is in your past, and I've had to make a big, big forgiveness. Someone stole my business, which put me in that problem when I was 43 years old. I had to forgive them. But once I did, it was like I'd been reborn, and the things all sorted themselves out. So I don't care if it's a person, a situation, a problem, whatever it is in your past that you keep going back to, blaming for why things are going wrong now, get rid of it. Forgive them. And forgiveness has got nothing to do with the person you forgive. It's all about you. You're the one who's in prison. They ain't even bloody thinking about it. But you're every day you visit it, so giving them the fingers. Oh, this and that. And you're getting all wound up. Let it go. Forgive them. Release yourself from prison. Once you've cleared the past, that will make where you are better. Because all of a sudden you're not getting up every day thinking of what you're going to do to them and how, you know, all the devious things you're going to do to them. So you make where you are where you want to be. Now, who's ever said, if only I've been in the right place at the right time? Yeah, we all do, don't we? We all put along, we miss all the opportunities, right? But this little plan of Uncle Croz's, look what happens. Because you know where you're going, right? Most people haven't got a clear destination of where they're going. And they wander around like headless chickens going, I'm lost. So, well, where are you going? Well, I don't know. Well, how can you be bloody lost if you don't know where you're going? Right? You're just dizzy, you're just wandering around. So make it clear where you're going. Then look what happens. If you want to open a business, right, and you need an empty shop, how many shops are you going to see in Wolverhampton High Street? Bloody hundreds, I should think, wouldn't you? Especially today, the way things are. I drive through Wolverhampton High Street, how many do I see?
No.
I still see them, but what happens? They don't register, because I don't need an empty shop. Clever, isn't it? It's doing a filtering system for you. So now, instead of going around going, oh, that's a good opportunity, I'll have that. That's another opportunity. You go round, don't you, and you pick everything up what you think's an opportunity. And you end up with an armful of rubbish. Because really, none of it, you don't really need any of it, but you're saying, I'll have that just in case. Yes, no, maybe. I'll have that. Maybe I'll need that, right? So get in the habit of making yes, no decisions. Forget this maybe bit. But as you're going along now, everything makes sense. Because it's all relevant to your journey, okay? Who's ever been asked to get a business plan? To get a loan? What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. I've never known a business plan that works. All you've got to do is do it so the computer says yes. Right? You put anything you like down as long as you can make the computer say, what a load of rubbish. No flexibility at all. What if things... But in real life, things do go wrong. But if you know where you're going, You're happy where you are, and you've got rid of all the crap from the past, but just visit the past to get all the information that you need, all the lessons that you've learned. That's the value from it, right? So all of a sudden you can make that horrible thing valuable because you don't make the same mistake again, unless you're a bloody idiot, do you? Right? That way or that way? Anyway, so this is the last bit I'm going to leave you with. You don't need a business plan, because if you know where you're going, if you know where you are, magic happens. The next step just unfolds, because you know where you're going. You understand it's relevant to your journey, okay? And it all unfolds. But the greatest thing of all is if you go off track. This is you here at the moment. This is most people in this room. They've got a bloody idea where they're going. So when they go to the next move, any road will do, won't it? Dead end, motorway, country lane, it don't matter, because you don't know where you're going. But once you know where you're going, you can go off track, but because you know where you're going, you can get back on track. And it all just unfolds. And the more relaxed you are, the quicker it unfolds. Thanks for your time.